Did Ford just uncover an untapped market? Find out today as we dive into this 2022 Ford Maverick. The 2022 Ford Maverick, a vehicle that's almost created its own segment. Now this is a brand new vehicle in Ford's lineup, and I gotta tell you guys, it's hard for me to put it in one specific category. This is a car when you want it to be, and a truck when you need to haul. Now today's video, we're gonna discover whose driveway you're gonna see this Ford Maverick parked in, and we're gonna help you decide if this is the right small truck for you. Now if you guys stay around till the end, I'm gonna give my personal opinion, my completely unbiased opinion on this truck as a full-size truck owner. We're gonna dive in, talk about some specs, and really get into this. Let's get started. So first things first, let's get the technical specs out of the way for the Ford Maverick. Now I know a lot of you guys are in different parts of the country and are going to be utilizing this truck in many different ways. Ours came equipped with a 2.0 liter turbocharged engine. Now that's good for up to 270 horsepower and just about 250 foot-pounds of torque. Now if you don't need that much power, you can also get the 2.5 liter hybrid engine. Now the hybrid engine is only available if you get front-wheel drive. So unfortunately, if you want the hybrid, which gets the crazy good fuel economy, you can only get that in a front-wheel drive model. Like I mentioned before, this is the 2.0 liter here. It's got a turbocharged engine, and you can get that with a front-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive option. It makes a good amount of power, and I'll tell you from just driving it over here with some light highway, some backcountry roads, it's peppy. It doesn't feel like a full-size truck where you really need to mash the gas. This one here that we have, the 2.0 liter, is going to get around 30 miles per gallon on the highway and about 25 in the city, depending if you have the front wheel drive or the all-wheel drive. The 2.5 liter is the true performer when it comes to fuel economy, and that's where you're gonna get almost 40 miles per gallon in the city. It's a regen hybrid, meaning you don't have to plug it in at all, but the city driving is where you're gonna get that really, really good fuel economy. Now with that XLT trim, you are gonna get the blacked out front grille, sort of your black fascia down below, and then I will say that the headlights on this to me are very reminiscent of the 2020 F-150. This side sort of has the C shape, and this is obviously the backwards C, but they are a full LED headlight. They're very clean, and when you remote start it or unlock it, it has that nice amber running light, which looks very, very good on the front end. Now, obviously the most important part about this, I'll throw in the plug for Susquehanna Ford, which is where we got this truck. Now, we actually pre-ordered this one for a customer, and it was the first one to come off the lot. Now, if you guys want to be the first in your neighborhood or city with one of these Ford Mavericks, click the link in the description. We'll give you all the details on how you can get one for yourself. This does have the FX4 package, and that is the more off-road styling cues. Now with that, you see we do have the black 17-inch wheels with a little bit more aggressive of a Pirelli tire. Now when I say a little bit more, this is nowhere even near an all-terrain tire, but it is a light-duty truck tire that's gonna be good in the snow, in the mud, and for light trails if you take this truck down. The biggest difference you'll see in this pickup is that on standard trucks, you do have the separation between the front cab and the rear bed. This is a complete unibody. So everything, as you can see from this top body line, flows right into the bed here. Now also checking this out, we do see that this is a crew cab. Every Ford Maverick is going to be built in a crew cab, which I think that is awesome. Most of the little trucks we've seen in the 80s and 90s, you could get a single cab, you could get an extended cab, but most did not come in a crew cab like this. And for this to be the standard feature, you don't even have to option this. That's really killer, guys. You can haul up to 5 people in this, all your friends, and you'll be super comfortable. Now here it is, guys, the Ford Maverick bed. Now this is what makes this vehicle incredible, is that everything on that front end drives, feels, doesn't look like, but handles and performs like a car or a light-sized SUV. But the most impressive part is going to be the bed on here. Now, if we're looking at the tailgate, you can see that we've got that Maverick stamped right into the back there with our standard Ford Blue Oval. This one does actually have the hitch group onto it. Now, what that means is that this one can tow up to 2,000 pounds with the standard hitch receiver. It has a 4-pin connector there, meaning you can plug in small things like a light yard trailer, maybe a jet ski trailer, or anything up to 2,000 pounds. You don't want to overload this truck, however, it can't handle that. You can option the 4,000 pound towing group, meaning you can tow up to 4,000 pounds with this truck and still get that incredible fuel mileage when you're just daily driving it. It really doesn't get much better than that. Opening up this tailgate, let's check out this bed. Just by dropping that tailgate down, you can see that this bed has a decent amount of size to it. Measuring from the front to the back, this is going to be 56 inches, and then across it is just over 53 from the top of the wheel well to the top of the wheel well on that side. Ford really designed this thing to be a utilitarian truck and allow those that want to get that good fuel mileage, want to have a small vehicle, and be able to haul it home safely. Now Ford, when they designed the bed on the Maverick, they really wanted to make it utilitarian. Now what I mean by that is they've thrown in a lot of things here to help you strap down any items you're going to be hauling. And the first example of that is that they've included 10 factory tie-down points. There's going to be 3 on either bedside, 2 on the floor on the front, and then another 2 right on that tailgate there. That totals up to 10 tie-down points from factory. And I will tell you guys, hauling a lot in your bed, you want all those good tie-down points. You never know what you're going to throw in the back of this. And that leads me to the next thing that I haven't brought up yet, is that you can haul a whopping 1,500 pounds of payload in here. That's 3/4 of a ton. I'll tell you, hauling 1,500 pounds is something that almost half-ton pickups are doing. My Dodge Ram is maybe rated to just under 2,000 pounds, but does not get anywhere near 30 miles a gallon on the highway. So with this hauling 1,500 pounds, you do have 10 tie-down points to easily be able to hook everything up and get it strapped down. With the Maverick, they've included what's called Ford's flex bed designation onto this cubby. Now what that means is that when you turn this locking knob, this cap will actually pop off and you can set it aside. And then you think, all right, I got a good amount here. I can stick my hand in, I can set, you know, some ratchet straps, maybe a couple hitch pins. It's not that big, but it gives me a little bit. And then I just noticed this, guys, that when you pull this little cover out, now what this does is it actually allows you to get in another 6 or 7 inches downwards here. Now I gotta tell you, I was already happy with a little bit of space just being up top, but dropping that down, I could see it putting entire hitch receivers, ratchet straps, hitch pins, some light tools, anything you can think of could stick into there. You put this on, maybe you wanna divide it, and then when you're ready to close it up, you grab this cover, tuck it right in, and lock it, and now you've got a weather-tight place to store all your goodies. And this is for those that will use this truck bed occasionally, but want to make sure that they always have that back in. It doesn't cost much to get a couple ratchet straps and a hitch receiver in there, and now you know that instead of having to go dig through your shed, dig through your garage, it's always in the bed. So great move by Ford. So as an off-roading enthusiast and an overlander and someone that goes camping and that all the time, Ford, if you're listening to this, this is my biggest kudos to you. They've actually added on 2 12-volt accessory ports right in the back. Now what I mean by that is if you pull down this little cap, you'll actually see a purple wire and a black wire with a yellow tracer. And this plug gives you a full 12-volt power outlet to both sides of the truck. Now what that means is that you could hook up things like an air compressor, a fridge freezer, maybe you've got a little 12-volt charger that you want to use for your phone, or maybe some other batteries. If you're a photographer, a videographer, you can plug these into here and wire them up extremely easily. Now what this also means is that they're already pre-wired, pre-fused, and have relays. So this is going to be completely wired and ready to go. I will tell you this saves you probably about 3 to 4 hours worth of time running all the proper relays, all the wiring, and giving you a convenient spot to wire this in. Huge props to Ford. Now what you can actually do with this bed is pick it up a little bit, take off your upper strap here, click it in to up top at the actual tailgate stud, and now when you set it down and do this on both sides, you've got an exact even platform from the top of this tailgate to the top of your wheel wells. Now what that gives you is a perfectly flat platform if you're hauling plywood. I know a ton of commercials always talk about hauling plywood in their truck, but let's be honest, most of us have never hauled plywood in our truck. What this does do, it gives you a little bit extra room in case you have maybe a longer couch or a longer sofa you're trying to haul, but don't want this sitting perfectly flat in case it slides out. You can knock it up like this, make it sit into this groove, and then even utilize the tie downs on here. If you guys have made it this far in the video, thank you for watching along. So we do all sorts of vehicle reviews, Bronco builds, Jeep builds, a ton of other cool things on this channel. You're not gonna wanna miss out. I just wanna tell you guys, thank you. Now on the inside, you will see on this specific trim, we do have that turquoise colored interior. It's on the door panels as well as on the dash pad, and it kind of flows throughout onto some of the body trim panels. With this specific model, with these XLT, we have a lot of orange accents. They're here in the air conditioning vents. We've also got them down here on this small little tray, which is very easily removable for you to go ahead and wash out and to easily set your phone down here. Now with this, the dash on this one is a full digital inlay in the center, as well as an 8-inch corner-to-corner center stack cluster. Now on the higher trim models, you can feature these with navigation and a couple other settings, but for the most part, they are CarPlay as well as Android Auto, completely set up right to go. I gotta say, the steering wheel feels very car or almost Ford Escape-like, but it's smaller and honestly, it's comfortable in my hands. It feels like I'm driving a light SUV or a larger sedan when I'm pulling around in this. Perhaps the coolest thing in my perspective, and we were just chatting about this here behind the scenes, is that this has this light heather gray throughout the interior as well as onto the door panels. Now this is like a plasticky feel, however, it just looks modern. It ties in the entirety of the vehicle, and then moving on to the heather, the blue, and the orange stitching in the seat, it's all tied together very well. Into the back seat, we've just opened up our full-size rear door. The trim panels on the doors are actually the exact same, with a very modern style grab handle here. On this back seat, it's very roomy, and I really like the heather look as well as the feel of the actual upholstery on here. You can option these with leather, but I think the cloth option is probably the way I would go. With this, you're also gonna get that center fold-down armrest. So you can just fold that down. 2 more cup holders, so plenty of cup holders in this vehicle. And then as well as in that center console, we are gonna get a USB and a USB-C plug. And this one we've optioned with 110 volt, 400 watt max standard outlet plug in the back. Is when it comes to storage, the Ford Maverick is not lacking. And what I mean by that is you might look at this and say, okay, I could, throw some groceries on here, maybe put a couple on the floor, but that's about it. Well, there's a little bit more. We'll go ahead and pull this little strap here, raise the lower portion of the seat, and we have got an absolute ton of storage space down here. This is once again part of that flex bed system that they're calling for the Maverick, and I could just imagine how much I could haul underneath here. Now, the last thing we're gonna talk about here is who is this vehicle for? And after doing the full review of it and seeing the first one come in like this, I gotta be honest, it's a viable option for even me. With this vehicle, this is going to be perfect for that person that lives in the city, lives in the country, but doesn't utilize the full capacity of a full-size truck. And what I mean by that is that someone that doesn't need to tow 8,000 to 9,000 pounds, haul 2,000 to 3,000 pounds in the bed, but just wants to utilize a truck bed for maybe going to the beach. Maybe you've got a small band and you want to load all your band gear in the back, but you need that bed. And what I thought about, we were sitting here chatting, if you've got 5 people in here, maybe you're going to the airport or heading down to the beach, you've got a full family, where are you gonna put all that storage? Where are you gonna put all the luggage? In the Maverick, you're gonna throw it right in the bed and be perfectly comfortable. Ford accessories have tonneau covers, they've got spray-in and drop-in bed liners, and really a ton of options to haul bikes, put a roof rack on here, haul some kayaks, or really go out and just have a good time. But I will tell you my personal opinion, what I said from the beginning, I am thoroughly impressed by this vehicle. And when you're watching this, if you're new to the channel and you don't know my background, I come from full-size trucks, Jeep Gladiators, Jeep Wrangler JLs, classic Jeeps, and I will say that this thing is definitely worth checking out. Hands down, by far, one of the best new pickup trucks to be released in 2022. With that being said, all the color options, everything included, and the fact that the MSRP can start below $20,000, this one, as tested today, comes out the door at about $28,000 MSRP. Now, if you're local to us here in Quarryville, PA, or you're in another state and you'd like to order one of these through us, definitely click that link in the description, give us a call, maybe even drop in. We would love to help get you into a brand new Ford Maverick. And our sales team, they're gonna be awesome to deal with. They'll help you order one of these and build it out to your exact spec. If you have any questions on some of the specs below and wanna get my feedback, I'd love to chat with you. Drop a comment below. We can go back and forth and kind of talk about some of the options on this thing. But if you want to smile ear to ear and check out a really cool new vehicle, definitely see the new Ford Maverick. Till next time, I am Matt from Susquehanna Automotive. I'll catch you on the next one.